Welcome back to the Real South Africa, and thanks for watching our videos. We truly appreciate you guys for watching and subscribing. For those who have subscribed, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you can go ahead and subscribe now and hit that notification button so you will know when the very next episode is available for your pleasure. Currently, this video will be all about wine, everything that happens down in Cape Town and what happens when you go down there to say, you know what, I'm looking for a very nice wine. We got special guests, and the interview that you're going to watch is going to be absolutely fantastic. So make sure again that you subscribe and you share with everyone and like our channel. Hope to hear from you soon. Of course, pay attention. Holla is coming soon, and the takeover is happening. And then, of course, for your investments, make sure that you reach out to Creed. It's time to invest in South Africa.
Lingering symptoms that go on for months that are very debilitating. You don't want this virus. But one thing I want to point out about the variants, and I think this is potentially good news that builds on what you're saying, John. If we can show South Africa for a second. South Africa is circulating one of the most concerning variants that people have been talking about for some time, B1351. Look at what has happened there. They first detected it in October of 2020, huge surge, as you can see there, their biggest surge, and now it's come way, way down. Less than 1% of the country, John, has been vaccinated. So again, that steep decline is not because of vaccines. That is another reminder, even with one of these concerning variants, that basic public health measures work. So we want the vaccine. We want science to rescue us, but South Africa should remind us of what is possible even without those vaccines.
All right, there you are. This is one of the most iconic locations in all of the world. This is Cape Town. And in Cape Town, so many things happen, so many things. And one of the things that we are going to talk about today is the wines. We all heard about the wine in Cape Town, but a lot of us don't understand that in Cape Town, the wine industry is probably the biggest and the most robust in all of the world. Some of the finest wines are made here in this region of South Africa. They have their own special brand that is only exclusive to South Africa, so people flock and come down and take all kind of tours to just drink the wine, eat the food, and just have a total experience. And these things are happening all year round. So Cape Town is ready for you to come down and enjoy what they actually do, which is the wines. So of course we will be inviting you as well as a tourist. So if you're interested, we can definitely make sure that your time here in South Africa will be great. And of course, you're going to be get the opportunity to go on a winelands tour, especially if you decide that you want to go to Cape, like these young ladies right here. But again, make sure that you stay with us. Make sure you subscribe so you can get more information, because we're consistently and constantly putting out more information. And this is one of the most fun places in the world, right here in Cape Town. Look at what they're doing, and you could be next. You could be doing the exact same thing. Now we're going to change gears, because this one young lady right here, she's part of the interview. So make sure you stay with us. We're going to be talking to her about her wine journey experience and everything that she's doing down in Cape Town. And then of course we're going to interview someone else. And this young lady right here has a winery in Cape Town. So we're going to be chatting with her just to let you guys know what she's up to and what she's doing, and how that's going to affect you, because I think once you go down there, you're going to want to get some of that Seven Sisters wine. But yeah, so we're going to do all of this for you. So stay tuned. You will be amazed at some of the commentary, and Dr. Latasha Blanton will be interviewing them both. So stay tuned.
Managed to get a coffee in because it's going to be another beautiful day starting here in Johannesburg.
Hello, 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 everyone. This is Latasha Blanton with The Real South Africa. Just as a reminder, we are a full service travel and tourism agency here in South Africa. We are based in the US, but we operate out of South Africa. And today I have the wonderful opportunity to talk to two wine enthusiasts that both live in Cape Town who know each other. And our paths kind of cross haphazardly, but we are happy to have them on. Today we're going to welcome Vivian Kleinens, who is the CEO and owner of Seven Sisters Winery. She's trailblazing the industry. She's dedicated the last 10 years of her life to wine. And she basically found that in order for women to be successful in business, that she needed to be in the front. And she found a way to operate that. She'll tell us a little bit about herself in just a bit. We also have with us Tuani Price, whom you guys met before. She is also a wine enthusiast. She is the owner of Zuri Wines, also in Cape Town. And we invite you to listen to their stories here. And we're happy to have both of you on. So welcome both ladies.
Yay! Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, Vivian.
Hi, Tuani.
All right. So right now we're going to have a chat with Vivian. So Vivian, just because of the way we met, I really want people to hear your story. So I'm going to start off with just telling people how I came across you. So there's always 7 degrees of separation, and even 9,000 miles away, that still exists. So what happened was basically a cousin of mine was helping Vivian with some stuff and asked me to reach out to Vivian. So that's how I met Vivian, basically from someone that's 9,000 miles away who met her, who introduced her to me here in South Africa. So that's how I met her. And once I heard her story, I figured you guys would love to hear about her business. So Vivian, welcome. And please tell us about your company, Seven Sisters Wines.
Thank you, Latasha. Yes, I'm working with Nikki and with a group of business MBAs from Georgetown University. And yes, Nikki introduced me to you. So this is wonderful how sisters connect, say. Absolutely fantastic. Yes. So Seven Sisters Wine started way back in 2005 when the Minister of Agriculture at the time, Choco Didisa, invited people of color to be part of the higher value chain in the wine industry. Believe me, I didn't know anything about wine at the time, and I was curious, so I did some research and look into it. In fact, I didn't like wine at all. You know, wine was also for me the evils of the past of our little villages, you know, where the older folks, they get together and they clap their few cents that they have. And I would always say it was always 1 liter of wine for a family fight. So I didn't like wine. So my first 2 years in the wine business, I didn't taste wine. I didn't taste my own wine.
Wow.
And yes, and it also happened that while I didn't taste my own wine, didn't know anything about wine, I lost my business after 2 years. And I was wondering, what is wrong? Why are people not purchasing my wines? So I had a look into it. In fact, I had people coming to me telling me, you know, the wine isn't good. And I thought, no, this is not for me. I need to get out of it. But it was my 9-year-old son who encouraged me to continue with the journey, because at the time I owed his dad lots of dollars that he put into the company. And he said to me, Mom, you have to make my dad's money back. And I first thought, you know, these kids, I mean, they're so forward, they can just tell you off, and I didn't pay attention to it. But I thought about it, and I thought about what happened to me at the time. So I enrolled in a wine course at the Stellenbosch University Business School, wine viticulture, management and marketing for a year. And I had to learn about this product that I want to be the owner of. So today I'm an avid wine lover.
I love it.
I mean, yes. I mean, after not drinking wine for all these years, I really enjoy my wine. I really enjoy cooking with the wine. So, so that is actually how the Seven Sisters wine brand was born. And I thought, you know, I came from a very small fishing village, about 150 kilometers from where I live now in Stellenbosch, where we have a wine farm. And I thought, well, yes, and coming from a little village, didn't know much about business. Growing up, I think, as I was told later on, as an entrepreneur, I didn't know I was one. I would always just, you know, make some cookies and some sweets and selling it. So I was always interested in making some money for the kids of the town. And I was about 18 years old when my father lost his job after 22 years with a fishing company, and he was told to leave. And because the houses all belonged to the factory, we needed to get out. In one day, we had to upload our furniture, we had to find a place to live, and so we were separated from each other, two with a family relative, because we were a large family. Can you imagine? 8 children, mom and dad, we were 10. I have a baby brother. Yes, it was hectic. And I didn't like it because I didn't like the separation, and that we could only see our mom and dad after, you know, in the afternoon, and then they will go their own way, we will go their own way. So I started thinking at nights, I would think, you know, what can I do to change this? So I always had that burden. I know I always had that burden to start a business.
No, that's beautiful.
Like I said, I didn't know anything about business. I was just doing things. I was just trying things out. And
that's kind of how it starts, actually. Yes. It's kind of how it starts. No, you said you didn't know anything about business, and I said most people that start businesses don't really know anything about business. You learn business by doing business. That's what I have to.
Yes,
that's what I say. Yeah,
that's it. I later learned about the pulling entrepreneur. You know, when you have to do things, when you want to do things, not the pushing one, the pulling one. So I'm a pulling entrepreneur.
100%.
Yes. So when I got the opportunity, I thought, wow, you know what? I researched and I found out that this was actually a $3 billion strong export industry.
100%.
I thought, wow, you know, I need a portion of that.
Yes,
if I can just get a tiny little bit of this market, you know, we are made. You know,
exactly.
We can live. In fact, we can fill up the grocery cupboard. That was my thinking, you know. We can eat better. We can live better.
So I want to be able to eat.
Yes. I tried while I worked on my brand. In fact, I had about 4 jobs when I started in the wine industry. I was pretty scared because it was a white male-dominated industry, and I didn't know how I will be accepted in this industry. And it was hard. It was really hard because people they didn't like other people to get into an industry that they've built for over 365 years. And at the time, I didn't understand it, but it was white male dominated, and yeah, this black woman is coming into an industry thinking I can make it. And I know that people were just waiting for me to get out, you know, to sink. Yeah. They were waiting for me to sink. But the good Lord was there. He was there all the time. He was with me because I thought I could take my wine to the local market, get it onto the shelves of the grocery stores. And it didn't work up till today still. I am not successful in getting my wine brands into the local stores.
We're gonna do what we can to change that right now.
Hopefully.
Do we can change that right now?
So I was fortunate enough. I was fortunate that I met this African-American lady from Boston in America. And that's why I always say that America is my home, you know. When I started going to America, people were just enjoying me. They are just so friendly. So I started in that market in 2006. It took us a year to get the product into the States. And so in April, 23rd of April, 2007, my first container left South Africa.
Awesome.
And then it arrived. It arrived, and about 3 months after that, it was already packed out on the shelves when my importer called me to say, Vivian, we have a problem. The Seven Sisters brand are already in the US. The Seven Sisters wine brand are already in the US.
How is that possible?
Somebody registered the name. But lucky for us, and their God was with us again, lucky for us, they had to have a product on the shelf to keep the name. Our product was already then on the shelf. And that helped us to continue with the brand. And there was another company, it was a Seven Sisters Hotel Group. Mm-hmm. And they were happy to give us their consent so that we could continue with the Seven Sisters name. But I mean, the trouble just continued, and the problems just, rolled onto us. But we were two fierce women in the American market. We just pushed forward. Oh my word. We were so hard working. If I think back of the road shows that we did in the markets, I would travel to America once or twice a year, and I would spend 3 to 4 weeks there. And we would do about 7 to 8 states in that time. 2 to 3 days in a state. And sometimes we will drive to the States, and we will have road shows. We will have, see wine clubs where women wine clubs, and we would just be busy. And she was a slave driver. That agent of mine, she would let us go to bed after 12 because we would have a dinner at night doing a wine tasting with a food pairing. And then we would be up early in the morning, 4 o'clock, hit the road because we need to go and see the grocery stores. I mean, after that, when I get back to South Africa, I was so exhausted.
You had to be exhausted.
For the first 7 years, we really, really pushed the product into the American market.
That's amazing.
It was, and then I realized that I needed a home for the brand. I needed a home for my wine, and I started with a product. I did not have a farm or a cellar or wine grapes. I had to buy my grapes, had the wines made, and then and in that itself, there was such a lot of challenges. Because I would get to my wine product and I would say, this is not my product. I need to bottle the style that I've researched that my American consumers like. And people would look at me thinking, but you don't even know wine. Yes, I became to know my wine. I come to know my style, my product, the taste profile it must be. And through that, I realized, no, I need to plant my own grapes. And if I think today about it, I laugh for myself because I was just this naive woman thinking at the age of 40, she can still get into business.
there's never a bad time to get into business. It doesn't matter how old you are. I'm so sure that Tawani can attest to this, simply because we're all women of color, Black women, trying to do great things to change the world. So I'm gonna ask Tawani really quickly how you guys came across each other, because the simple fact is that, you know, I met Vivian through another person in the States, and then, you know, my husband interviewed Tawani some time ago, and then here I am asking Tawani if she knows you, and she's like, yeah. So it's just crazy how small the world actually is. So if you can tell me how you came across Vivian, that would be amazing.
Well, first of all, that's Auntie Vivian. Hi, Auntie Vivian.
No.
And I knew Auntie Vivian before she even knew me.
Okay.
I was in the States, and I had started my wine business in 2010, right? And so I started my wine business after working in corporate America for a number of years. And once I started my wine business and I discovered that there were Black people in wine, I started to promote Black people in wine. And then I came across this brand called Heritage Links, and they had Seven Sisters wine. And I started this wine festival in 2011 where I would feature wines made by Black people. And so Heritage brand, they had Seven Sisters wine. So since the beginning of my wine festival, I've been pouring Seven Sisters wine proudly, happily. And for as far as I knew, like, I was so naive about the whole wine industry and the wine market. You know, I came into this wine industry, and when I found their wine, and they were in South Africa, and I had this affinity for South Africa because when I was in high school, I used to protest apartheid. And so when I saw that they had this brand, these women, I was super excited. And for me, I thought this was the norm. I thought that, you know, all Black people in South Africa, or a lot of Black people in South Africa, had their own wine brand. They had their own wine farms. And so when I wanted to visit South Africa, I was super excited, and I started doing the research, and I discovered that Seven Sisters was the only place where I could actually go and taste in a tasting room that was Black owned. I mean, they had Mahudi, but like Seven Sisters was like the premium. It was the ultimate. It was the destination, right? And so in 2016, when I visited South Africa for the first time, one of the first places I stopped, I stayed in Stellenbosch for 2 weeks, and one of the first places I stopped was Seven Sisters, because I had already been tasting their wines in the States. And so when I walked into the tasting room and I met Vivian, I mean, oh my God, I can't remember the specifics of the day, but I can remember the feeling. Like, you know how like that feeling, you just go to your auntie's house and you feel so much love? And that's how I felt when I walked into her tasting room. And so like over the years since 2016, I've seen the tasting room transform. I've been in the tasting rooms for like Women's Night during Women's Month, where there's been like magical. Like, honestly, I have chills right now. Like, Vivian, do you remember that? It was 2018 or 19, and we had Diana there, who's like a world famous poet. We had a famous violinist there. We had Vivian. I mean, it was this, and it was just like a random night. And Vivian had made this like stew, like or curry. What do you say?
You cook it, Viv? Because if that's the case, I need wine and food. You cook. Yeah. All right. I love it. I love it.
We had this meal with these beautiful women, and we had, of course, Seven Sisters wine, and we had conversation, and we just talked about like the struggle of being a woman, of like, you know, being an entrepreneur, all these different things we talked about in one night. And I'm telling you, it was magical. And so I take people there all the time whenever I have Americans visit me. Like, it's definitely a destination to just go into her tasting room and to just be in her space, because it's just so I'm sorry, I get too excited because
thank you, Joanne.
No,
Thank you.
It's fine. It's so fine. So for those of you that are just tuning in, this is Latasha Blanton with The Real South Africa, and I'm having a candid conversation with two winepreneurs. That's the word I'm going to make up for today. They're two wineosaurs. I can make up as many words as I can with wine. And they happen to both live in Cape Town. And, you know, the beauty of us talking to these two women of color, Black women, is that, you know, because we are in South Africa and we are a full tourism company, you have access to both of them, meaning that if you decide to come on a tour with us, you are more than welcome to have a wine tasting with Tuwani at Zuri Wines, and of course visit Seven Sisters Winery, where you can also have another tasting. So they have collaborated to do some amazing things. So now we're going to get into what you ladies are doing together to actually enhance the space where we're not seen very much as Black women in wine. So I think that you guys have an affinity for wine, obviously, because this is what you do. But tell me how you guys are creating that space so that more people can get into, you know, what you guys are doing. And I'll let you know, Viv start first. So how are you creating the space for women of color in wine?
Well, with my cooking skills, I've decided to do a food and wine pairing. So I create 7 meals, and we are not a fine dining place. We are a soul food place, you know, authentic meals that we create with our different wine cultivars. So that is what we do. And then obviously we do a lot of gatherings with women, whether it's Women's Month, whether it is just to empower people. Sometimes we just randomly send out a flyer to say we're having a wine tasting or we're having a market day, and people are coming and they exhibit their arts and their crafts, and we do wine tastings, and we have that often for the South African women to feel free to come out and spend the day with us. And then, yeah, once we've given them some of our soul food, they just want to come back.
That's how you get them. She feeds them first. Tuwani, yep. What do you think what do you think the space is? Like, what are we doing to create more space for women of color when it comes to wine?
You know what? I'm just going to say promoting and creating room in the value chain and reminding people that, you know what, you have to consciously, purposely spend your money with Black people who make wine. You know what I mean? It won't, the landscape won't change unless you say, you know what, I'm going to purposely take a portion of my budget and spend it with people of color who make wine. Because we don't have the capital, we don't have access to the budget to have a proper distribution chain or to have a proper seller, but we only get that capital by people investing in the product, in the services, you know what I mean? So like when you come to Cape Town, I'll always say it. I'm going to say it right now. It's a disservice if you come to Cape Town and you do not spend your money with Black people. It's easy to spend your money with white people. I love white people. Some of my best friends are white people, all right? I'm saying for us to, as a community, for us to grow, we have to purposely reach out, find the products, find the services, and spend our money and recycle that wealth. And I think Vivian, she underestimates herself. She doesn't brag enough about herself, but she is like a champion in this whole community, and she supports. What I love about Vivian is she doesn't have a competition. She doesn't have a competition bone in her body, right? So she's not like, oh, I have 7 sisters and I don't want anybody else to win. She's like, I have 7 sisters, but I'm taking my other sisters, my non-biological sisters.
I love it. I love it. And I just watched her pour a glass of wine in her face. Did you see that? I mean, what's going on?
Well, it's wine time, ladies. It's wine time. I mean, it is 8 o'clock in South Africa. It's just before 9 now. So it is wine time. So we like enjoying our wines after
Tawani,
5.
I'm surprised you don't have a glass. Where's your wine at, Tawani?
You know what? Because I was rushing for this call and my computer's in my office, and I was like, do I go down and pause and get a glass right now, or what do I do?
You know what?
Late.
Go get you a glass. You go do your thing. I'll continue talking with her because she's making me feel bad. I mean, I had some earlier, but I wasn't going to drink it. But she's sitting there, so.
Wow! That's
fantastic. Can you talk about the wines that you have with the other sisters in wine here in South Africa? Because on any given day, if you go to a tasting room, you're going to see other winemakers there, like other Black winemakers there, which is amazing. Wow. So talk about that. I'm gonna let you go get some wine right now. Okay.
Viv and I will keep talking.
Okay, perfect.
Great stuff.
All right, Viv. So it's just me and you right now. So what wine did you just pour for yourself? Tell us about that wine you just poured for yourself.
So this is a Seven Sisters Pinotage. Can you see it?
Hold on. Let me see if I can get that up on the screen for us. Okay, so tell us about that wine right there.
Yes. So the Pinotage is an indigenous grape of South Africa, and I always knew I must just have this grape in one of my ranges. Even when we planted our vineyards on the farm, the soil was not conducive to planting a Pinotage grape. But then after 3 years, having planted a Shiraz, we decided that we're going to ingrain the Pinotage plant into the Shiraz. And now, this year, for the first time, we have harvested our Pinotage from our own vineyards that will go in our premium range. But this Pinotage is an easy drinking. So our Seven Sisters wines, we've actually made for our sisters all over the globe. And this is an easy drinking wine. The Seven Sisters wines are always easy drinking wines. Been in stainless steel tanks and then just put on a little bit of oak for about 3 months to give it some structure. But the reason behind it was to have an easy drinking, fruitfully wine, lots of berry flavors, lots of plum. This Pinotage actually have a chocolatey undertone. I feel like there are some chocolate in the gravel that the Pinotage is growing in because it is just so fantastic. So, and then also you pick up a hint of spices and pepper in this Pinotage. And yes, I'm enjoying this Pinotage, and I cannot wait to bring our latest version of the 2020 Pinotage to the States and to the people in South Africa, and that they could come and taste it here in our tasting room, because literally you can buy our wines on the farm in Stellenbosch, and yeah, when people order it online, but you cannot find it anywhere else. So I thought I'm going to stay exclusive with my wines and force people to come to the farm, to come and enjoy the space, enjoy the wines and the good food.
I will have to second that. So I'm just going to circle back around to what she said, guys. She's basically inviting you guys to South Africa. Now, keep in mind that if you're just now tuning in, this is Latasha Blanton with The Real South Africa. I'm talking to Vivian Kleinens, who is the CEO and owner of Seven Sisters Vineyards in Cape Town, South Africa, which is basically wine country. And she lives in Stellenbosch. And if you know anything about wine and anything about Cape Town, you know Stellenbosch is one of the places you have to visit. So she has personally invited you, as well as I have, to visit South Africa. Like I said, we're a full travel and tourism company. So if you decide you want to visit South Africa, please give us a call. And if you want to have any wine bookings involved, you can contact Vivian directly. And as you can see, we have Tawani back. She finally went and got her some wine. So all the girls are drinking right now, since it's close to 9 p.m. in South Africa, and drinking wine is what we do. It's it's a lifestyle. It's not a pastime. It is a lifestyle here in South Africa.
Yes,
So if you're not drinking gin,
absolutely.
you're drinking wine. Now, what are you drinking, Tawani?
I am drinking the Brutus. Hold on, I want to show you guys this label.
Back it up. Back it up. Okay, there you go. Okay, the Brutus. Yeah. Oh, the Shiraz. Oh, you got a nice one.
So this is one of Vivian's labels.
It's the premium brands. It's our premium brands, and it's called after our surname, our maiden name.
Okay, all right. So obviously Tawani knows a lot about the history of the Seven Sisters wine. So and she seems to have loved it for quite some time now. So tell me. Now, Vivian explained that she was drinking the Pinotage and has all these spices and chocolatey things. So tell me what your palate tastes on that Brutus Shiraz.
So let me tell you guys, I'm a bit of a wine snob. I love the Brutus Shiraz because these are the state-grown grapes. So these are the grapes that are actually grown on the property. And it's just a full-body Shiraz. It's big, it's fruity, lots of black plum, a hint of like black pepper. It's just yummy. I love it. It's a full body wine. So like, this is what I like to relate my wine to men a lot. So this is like the Idris Elba of wines. Tall.
Really? We're gonna go there. Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
We're gonna do
That's
that.
what it is.
So I think that goes in line with the fact that the name of it is called Brutus. So that just kind of goes with what you just said. So it is a full body brute.
Yes, it's a full body wine.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So you guys have heard that they basically are, Tawani is a self-proclaimed wine snob, and Vivian has proclaimed that she never drank wine and now she loves it. And I was interrupting her wine time that she had to stop and pour a glass during the middle of the broadcast. I'm going to ask my husband to fill my glass up because I don't want to be left out. I'm almost out. So I'm going to get him to fill my glass up. But for the most part, we just want to invite you guys to South Africa. Visit therealsouthafrica.com for tours and stuff as far as South Africa is concerned. You can also send us an email at info@therealsouthafrica.com. And all of their contact information is, of course, is streaming across the bottom. We just want to know that South Africa is the home of wine. And I do want to get back to what you ladies are doing together. So tell me how you guys are collaborating as Black women in South Africa to boost this wine industry. What are you guys doing together?
I mean, like, I think that me and Vivian are in communications a lot. So, like, whenever I have Americans in town, she's always one of my favorite stops. We have a lot of, like, I don't know, very serious conversations about, like, what we need in the industry, you know, to ensure success. Yeah, so that's some of the things. Vivian, do you want to talk a little bit about what we're doing too?
Tawani is also a supporter of the Pinotage Youth Academy. I'm not sure the position she holds there, but she called me one day and she said to me, she's looking for a space to bring her students. And she just wants to give them a South African braai. In America, it's called barbecue. And it just so happened that I was free that day. Can you remember? It was about 50. Oh, no. It was about 100 students.
What?
Yes.
It was a lot.
So we had so much fun. We had music. And those are the kind of things that we like doing, bringing people together to enjoy themselves. So COVID has really crippled us. We all know that. Yeah. We've been closed. We've been quiet. So now we're back to level 1. Not so long ago, we've gone back to level 1. So Tawani and myself need to start collaborating now again into bringing the people and bringing the groups. Remember, we did not have any travelers from across the world. No travelers. And unfortunately, in South Africa, people are spoiled for choice where to go. And they would always go and visit the affluent farms. Remember, we have built our vineyards and our farm from scratch. There was nothing on this piece of land. We started in 2009, planted the vineyards, put the buildings up. It took us 4 years to sell wines in America, take the profit, and finish the one building on the farm, which is now our tasting room. And I'm not sure if you can see a bit about it. And yes, so here we're bringing people, and like I said, South Africans, they didn't know really about us. They're spoiled for choice. They're spoiled to go to the affluent farms for all their life. So, like Tuani was saying earlier on, if people can just start thinking about where they put their pounds or their dollars to, and start supporting small wineries, and really be deliberate of where they spend their money, because we have a lot of South Africans that's never been to the farm, never been to the wine tasting, yet they're all over going to other wineries. So I'm speaking to you, South Africans. Bring your ZDOps to the Seven Sisters Vineyards.
Yes.
And let Natasha bring you from Johannesburg and come and explore the wine routes in the Western Cape.
Yeah, I think
I love that. I love that. I love how the tourism ties into it. So, you know, obviously as a Black-owned business coming from the States here in South Africa, you know, we don't want to take for granted that, you know, having a minority-owned business in the States is the same that it is here in South Africa. So we understand that as a Black woman, you are a minority here in South Africa. So you owning a winery, Tuani moving here, living here, starting her business, I mean, that's the perfect place for all of us to basically get together. And because we do tourism, it is not a problem. And I'm looking forward to meeting both of you in the flesh and drinking some wine together. I want to taste some of Vivian's food. She talked about it like it was something that kind of got in you, made you feel good. You know what I mean?
I think that's probably part of our cultures, like whether you're African American or you're African, we love hospitality. We love to introduce.
Yeah, 100%.
We love to open up our doors. So, like, 100%. If you're in Johannesburg, or if you're in the Eastern Cape, or if you're in America, and when you come to Cape Town, let's just go to Seven Sisters. Let's let Vivian cook for us. Let's have her light the fireplace, drink some wine, have some live music maybe, and like let's just chill out. Let's just drink by us for us. Like
absolutely, absolutely. And because we are traveling, you know, understanding that, you know, coming from the U.S. to Cape Town, we do have access to Vivian and to Tuani. So if that's something, you know, that you guys are interested in, even if you're not interested in it, trust me, there's a wine tour involved, and they're definitely going to be someone that we're going to use, because we do want to support women. We do want to support Black-owned businesses. And this is the best way to do it, through tourism. So you can learn about wine. You can learn about the culture, the foods. You know, you can hear more about Vivian's history. She obviously came up in a time where it wasn't her place to basically even own a business, much less a winery. So for her to dig her heels in and do what she's done is something that we need to applaud. And for Tuani taking a huge plunge, just like myself, and saying, you know what, I'm going to leave the U.S. and start a new life in the States, because we know that wine country in the States is over in Cali, which I think you probably spent some time in, if I'm not mistaken. So you've been through that whole process of trying to dig your heels in and see that, you know, they really probably weren't going to let you in, to be honest. So you had to find a way to make a way. And it's easy to do here in South Africa, but it all starts with a visit to South Africa, which is what we do 100%. So Tuani, you know, hats off to you for making the plunge. Cheers, ladies. Everyone's got their glass here.
Yes.
Cheers. Cheers, ladies. Cheers, ladies. I know
it. So
you are remarkable. You've done great, Tuani and Natasha. You've done great.
Thank you.
Congratulations and well done.
Absolutely. So I just want to remind everyone that, you know, you can find Vivian, all of her contact details are strolling across. You can find Tuani, all of her details are strolling across. You know how to find us, info@therealsouthafrica.com. Tours and packages are able to be customized. We are definitely going to include Vivian Seven Sisters because she made it sound more than amazing. And when we do get a chance to get around to do our tour of Cape Town, we will visit Vivian in person, and hopefully we'll be able to share a video of you guys with Tawani, of course, of us eating Vivian's food and enjoying her hospitality and just being women and people of color enjoying ourselves, because that's what we do. We are hospitable people, and we just want to do our best to support each other. So I thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
Have any other questions, guys, please leave your comments at the bottom. These women are more than powerful. They're more than capable to help you in your wine journey. Trust me, I didn't know very much about wine until I got here. I'm still learning. I cannot wait to take a full-blown wine class with both of these ladies, or wine and food pairing, and understand how it all works. Do you guys have any last words, anything you want to share with the people, what you want them to know about you, how they can find you before we wrap things up?
Yeah, with me, it's easy. You just Google Seven Sisters. You don't have to add anything. You will get to us, or Vivian Kleinhans, you will get us. So very simple and easy. sevensisters.co.za, and you will know where to come. All the directions are there.
Nice. She's like, you can get to me. Thank you. You can get to me directly. And Tawani, any last words?
Yeah, so just remember to spend a portion of your budget with, Black-owned wine businesses. We need your support. And then I'll be in Joburg. I'll be in Joburg next week. So, look me up, hit me up, comment, if you're in Joburg.
You're going to be in my neck of the woods.
Yes, I'm going to be in your neck of the woods next week.
Hopefully I'll get to meet you in person, and then I'll have
I'm going to stop you. I'm going to just knock on your door and
okay, that'll be fine. We'll let you in. We're nice. We're still the same people. We'll let you in.
I'm going to bring some Seven Sisters wine, because I know.
Yes, I want the Idris Elba one. I want that one.
Yes. I'm bringing Idris to you. I'm bringing him to you.
Bring Idris to me.
Yeah. Tell your husband we're cheating on him for the night. Me and you are going to enjoy it. Yes.
I love it. I love it. You ladies are phenomenal. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Vivian, you're a trailblazer. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep promoting what you're doing. And we're going to do our very best to make sure that we bring tourists to your facility. Tawani, you're a force. We will see you soon. I appreciate all of you guys for watching this live with us, and we will see you guys in the flesh in South Africa. Info at therealsouthafrica.com, and we will see you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Well, everyone, you had the opportunity to learn a little bit about some wine. I'm sure that makes you thirsty, make you want to go out and purchase some Seven Sisters wines. We truly appreciate our guests who came out and want to educate you guys and tell you their story and give you the opportunity to visit with them down in South Africa. Of course, you can always reach out to The Real South Africa at info@therealsouthafrica.com, and we can make sure that we connect you. We can get you down to Cape Town. We can put a package around the whole thing, and you can come here and have a wonderful time without having to figure out where to go, what to do. We take care of all that for you, but we're very proud of what we do. And the young ladies who were in the video are very proud as well of what they do. They go the extra mile to make sure that your experience is something that's special. Keep in mind that, like I said, South Africa and that whole region it rivals anywhere else in the world as far as wines are concerned. And of course, they have some specialty wines that are just, only in South Africa. So if you're a wine snob, don't miss out, and go ahead and get yourself a glass and pour yourself a drink. And we will chat with you later.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on all things The Real South Africa. Thanks again.